be sure to check out Rob Plays. There you can hang out with me while we play video games and talk about life stuff. So with Suicide Squad right around the corner, what I want to do here is have a discussion about Amanda Waller from the New 52. Now what I'm hoping is that at the end of all this, you'll have a good idea of her character, as well as why she's remained such a fearsome member of DC's landscape throughout her publication history in DC's reboot. So within the New 52, much like most of DC's lineup save for Batman and Green Lantern, Amanda Waller received a wholesale relaunch that canceled out the entirety of her continuity prior to the series launch. Making her debut within the pages of Team 7 issue number 1 in 2012, DC continued the trend of depicting Amanda Waller without an origin story of her own. Instead, DC looked to the Team 7 line of stories as a way to reintroduce her to the reading audience using a familiar landscape and her place within the DC universe. To sidetrack for a second, because the New 52 saw DC rolling their ancillary publications of Vertigo and Wildstorm into the fold, and creating a wholly new universe by combining the various characters and teams from these publications with their own roster of titles, with Team 7 serving as a Wildstorm imprint designed to operate as a Strike Force team, not unlike Nick Fury's Howling Commandos, the newly included line of publications served as a perfect home for the introduction of Amanda Waller as the hidden hand behind a multitude of concepts within DC's comics. However, something to take note of here is that not only had Amanda Waller never received her own origin story, but her history within the DC New 52 is far less complex and less intricate than it was in the pre-New 52 continuity. Instead, under the writing of Justin Jordan, Team 7 focused on a behind-the-scenes backstory to the events leading up to the introductions of characters in the New 52 and the basis behind Amanda Waller's creation of the Suicide Squad. Covered in issue number 0 titled The Majestic Seven as part of DC Zero Month, which provided origins for their teams and characters in the New 52, what we're told is that with the world becoming aware of Superman and other heroes with tremendous power, the federal government looked to organize a team that could prevent future metahuman threats, as well as monitor those beings who were perceived to be possible threats. To this end, and under the direction of John Lynch, Team 7 was organized and consisted of a mishmash of DC and Wildstorm characters, including Black Canary, Deathstroke, Amanda Waller, Cole Dash, James Robinson, and Steve Trevor. Proving herself to be highly capable in terms of her knowledge of espionage, strategy, weapons use, and military tactics, Team 7 largely faced off against small-time villains and metahuman threats, including former Arkham Asylum researchers who created zombies in their attempts to turn insane criminals sane, as well as Eclipso, the god of vengeance, who was initially introduced within the pages of Red Hood and the Outlaws and temporarily possessed Deathstroke. While the series only ran for around 7 issues due to the fact that fan interest was confined to the backstory of the New 52, which dissipated once the original story arc ended, the role of Amanda Waller jumped forward by 5 years to the official start of the New 52 and the introduction of Suicide Squad. Covered in Suicide Squad issue number 0, with Team 7 being cancelled before writer Justin Jordan was able to completely flesh out and disband the team, Suicide Squad writer Adam Glass used issue number 0 to wrap around to the conclusion of Team 7, establishing that the group had been sent on a mission to retrieve Pandora's Box, an artifact based on the mythological object of the same name and containing all of the world's evils. During their attempts to capture the artifact, the story revealed that the true goal of Team 7 was to display their capabilities against metahumans, with select members being granted powers. As a result, and during their final mission, a freak accident occurred involving the sonic scream of Black Canary and a wave of psychic energy that melded the minds of Kazan Gamora and Agent Higgins, leading the two to adopt the moniker of Regulus. With Regulus taking over the criminal underground organization called Basilisk, Amanda Waller assembled the remains of Team 7 to eliminate Regulus and prevent his acquisition of a nuclear weapon. However, during the fight, Regulus mutated the entirety of Waller's team, forcing her to kill all of them, after which she came to the conclusion that a team needed to be formed which could carry out the same role as Team 7, but consisting of disposable members. Presenting her plan to her superiors, Amanda Waller's Suicide Squad was formed using criminals from DC's Belle Reef prison who were coerced onto the team through force or blackmail, and served to both eliminate metahuman threats to the world, as well as secure and ensure humanity's dominance over metahuman technology. Originally consisting of Harley Quinn, King Shark, Black Spider, El Diablo, Savant, Voltaic, and Deadshot as the team's field commander, prior to their initiation into the team, Waller put the group through a series of rigorous forms of physical and psychological torture designed to test the limits of what they could withstand, as well as their loyalty to the team. With the roster contained in issue number 1 displaying those who passed the test, in truth, the Suicide Squad line of comics served as a platform for Harley Quinn's popularity in the New 52, leading to her eventual solo series. While this wasn't the intention of DC as far as I'm aware, because Harley had been such a popular character following her introduction to Batman the Animated Series and her subsequent appearances, Writer Adam Glass built off the concept by developing Harley's own story within the series, building fan interest for her solo series in 2014, where her departure in issue number 5 fell in line with the revolving door theme of the team. DC hoped to use the popularity of the title with Harley Quinn as a way to keep existing fans on board by continuing compelling stories and teasing various villains who could continue interest. However, the opposite effect happened in that a majority of readers departed the series for Harley Quinn's solo comic in 2014, meaning that the Suicide Squad line was cancelled after 30 issues. However, for the character of Amanda Waller, over the course of her time in Suicide Squad, her character was depicted as cold, ruthless, and highly intelligent, expressing virtually no remorse over the fact that despite their criminal past, the members of the squad were still people. Instead, Waller viewed them as expendable assets designed to serve a purpose and to be dismissed once that purpose was completed. In addition to this, where Glass kept these themes of Amanda Waller within the pages of Suicide Squad, because the pre-New 52 depiction of her character saw her involved in a multitude of agencies and organizations, during the New 52, DC looked to achieve the same goal with her character. To this end, with issue number 19, Amanda Waller was removed from the Suicide Squad line by Adam Glass and replaced with the Unknown Soldier. Following this, Waller was spun out into a series of appearances including Teen Titans, Justice League of America, Green Lantern, and Forever Evil, even going so far as to become the temporary head of Argus, the advanced research group uniting superhumans. Now to sidetrack for a second, where Argus was originally launched in the New 52 under the direction of Steve Trevor, owing to both his military record and romance with Wonder Woman, with the Justice League's first story arc against Darkseid serving as the basis behind the organization's formation, after the conclusion of the storyline Villain's Journey, which centered on the League facing off against a villain named David Graves, Steve Trevor was removed from his position as director of Argus due to the idea that the organization needed a more aggressive stance following the League's near defeat. With Amanda Waller being appointed to the position, in addition to using the organization as a means to attempt to take down the Basilisk terrorist cell, her efforts extended to reaching out to David Graves, putting his extreme intelligence to the test by way of commissioning a book on how to take down the Justice League. However, with Amanda Waller's time proving to be disastrous and that her efforts to subdue criminal organizations and preventing the events of Forever Evil from taking place all failed, she was removed from the position and Steve Trevor was reinstated. Leading into the events of Forever Evil proper is part of DC's road to Darkseid War, where Amanda Waller was largely isolated to the background. Following the event's conclusion, in 2014, under the writing of Sean Ryan, the new Suicide Squad was launched and originally consisting of Black Manta, Deadshot, Deathstroke, Harley Quinn, and Joker's daughter. While this return to familiarity was twofold in that Amanda Waller seemed to fit at home with the team, the second half of this equation was shifting up the status quo by placing Amanda Waller under the direction of Victor Sage. Functioning as a de facto head of Suicide Squad but maintaining loyalty to his corporate backers, Sage looked to transform the Suicide Squad into a Heroes-for-Hire-esque team that could be financed and lent out to various agencies from around the world, allowing them to use the squad for their own goals of corporate or international espionage. Taking the team underground and subverting the actions of Victor Sage, the efforts of Amanda Waller resulted in Sage's corruption becoming public, forcing the government to remove him from his position and placing it under the complete authority of Waller herself. That said, as far as I've been able to tell, with the Suicide Squad expected to receive the DC Rebirth treatment on August 3rd, it's unknown how the team's revamp will impact Amanda Waller, if at all. But assuming that all the existing trends remain true, Waller will likely return to her classical pre-New 52 roots in terms of both her mannerisms and her appearance. With that being said, we're going to bring this video to an end. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And just out of curiosity, let me know how you guys feel down in the comments about Viola Davis playing Amanda Waller, because I personally think there could not have been a better choice. She looks amazing. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.